Hello students, you are welcome in Adarsh online classes. This video is about first chapter Who Did Patrick's Homework from your English book Honey's Cuddle. This chapter is about a schoolboy named Patrick and he didn't like to do his homework. So in this chapter we will see how he completed his homework and who helped him in doing so. Beside this unit contains a short poem named A House, a Home. We will read the poem after the chapter. So, without wasting time, let us go towards the chapter. Who did Patrick's homework? As I told you that Patrick hated doing homework. He found it boring. He never liked to do his homework. He always got bored while I was doing his homework. He was interested in playing games. He played hockey, basketball, Nintendo, and other games. His teacher warned him that he must do homework, otherwise, he would remain an ignorant person. Sometimes he really felt that he was so, but somehow Patrick could not help it. One day, Patrick found his cat playing with a little doll. He took the doll away. To his surprise, he found that the doll was in fact a little man. This man wore old-fashioned breeches. His hat was tall like witches. That little man cried, "Save me, save me." In return, he promised to grant Patrick's a wish. So that's how Patrick found a little elf who going to become his new friend who will help him in completing his pending homework. So Patrick saved the little man because he promised to grant Patrick a wish. He was much pleased. He asked the little man to do all his homework till the end of the semester because at that time Patrick had the burden of completing his homework. So he thought to grant his wish as completing his homework. That way he could get A grade. Which way? By completing his homework till the end of the semester. Now he had an elf, so he thought to help to take help of elf in completing his homework. The little man didn't like it, yet he agreed to do so because he promised Patrick to grant a wish to him. He began his work in right east Right, Ernest. However, there was one difficulty. Very often he needed Patrick's help in doing homework properly because he didn't know much about his homework and studies. Sometimes the elf would ask for a dictionary. He would request Patrick to look up a word and speak its spelling loudly. He always engaged Patrick, he always engaged with Patrick in completing homework. He every time gave work to Patrick, such as finding word in English work. When it come to math, it was even worse. The elf did not know much of it, so Patrick had to sit beside him and guide him all the time because the little elf didn't had didn't has much knowledge about maths. Now, in maths also, the little elf helped. In maths also, Patrick gave help to the little elf. It was same. It was same thing with history because the elf didn't know much about his studies and especially about history. Patrick had to go to the library, get the book, and read them out to the elf. Then elf would write those points in his homework answer book. So this how the little elf always needed help of Patrick in doing his homework. He completed his homework of English, history, maths, but he took help of Patrick in each. He gave him a lot of work to do, such as searching searching word in dictionary and in doing sums in maths and searching a book from library and read answers loudly. Patrick had to do much hard work. Finally, the last day of the school arrived. The elf was free to go. The homework had, of course, been completed. Patrick got his A plus grade because he completed his homework till the last semester. His classmates were amazed and his teachers smiled because he never completed his homework on time. But this time he performed very good and got A grade also. So now his classmates, his teachers, his parents all were very happy, and Patrick also. He felt proud. His parents wondered how the son had become such as a model kid. Patrick had indeed developed a whole new attitude with the help of Elf. Of course, Patrick thought that the elf had done his homework, but the truth is that he was all along do doing it himself. So this is our chapter. Here the elf helped Patrick in completing his homework, but the boy Patrick thought that Elf helped him in completing homework. So, this is our chapter. Hopefully, you understood it properly. But still, you have any kind of question, you can ask me in comment box. Now, as I told you that this chapter also contains a short poem, a house, a home. Let's go towards it. A house, a home. In this poem, the poet has explained the difference between a house and a home. He elaborates on the role that family members play in a home. Before going on, let me ask you one thing, that what is the difference between a house and a home? Discuss it with your cousins and your family. Now, let's read the poem first and then I'll explain it. What is a house? It's bricks, it's brick and stone, and wood that's hard, some window glass, and perhaps a yard. It's vases and chimneys, and tile floors, and scuton roof, and lots of doors. Now, as I told you that it's this poem give us difference between house and home. So now, what is a home? It's lovely and family and doing for others. It's brothers and sisters and fathers and mothers. It's unselfish act and kindly sharing and showing a loved ones we are always caring. So this is our poem. It's a it's a description about house and a home. The poet has tried to define definite between a house and a home. He says that a house is made of bricks, stones, and hard work. It also has fine paints, chimneys, window glasses, doors, corridors, roof, and tile floors. A home is another name of loving family members who take care of each other and work selfishly for one another. Brothers, sisters, fathers, and mothers together make a home. It is their unselfish act of kindness and sharing towards one another that make a house a home. So, after reading this poem, now you may know the difference between house and a home. It's a very easy poem. Hopefully you understood it. But still you have any kind of question, you can put it in comment box. Surely I'll answer your questions. Now, with this video, we completed our first chapter and our first poem. In the next video, we will discuss about second chapter and second poem. This is this much for this video. In the next, we will meet with a new topic, a new chapter, a new poem, and a new moral. So, see you there. Hello, students. I'm so glad to meet you back in our Adarsh online classes. This video is about our first English chapter, Who Did Patrick's Homework. In my previous video, I explained you the summary of this chapter. In this video, We will read the chapter line by line. So, without wasting time, let's go towards our chapter. Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. His teacher told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. It's true. Sometimes he didn't feel like an ignorance. But what could he do? He hated homework. Here we know that Patrick didn't like to do his homework. He wanted to play only. Once his teacher warned him to complete his homework. पैट्रिक जो है वो होमवर्क नहीं करना चाहता था, वो सिर्फ खेलना चाहता था. वो बास्केटबॉल खेलता, हॉकी खेलता, नितेंडो जो एक वीडियो गेम है. होमवर्क करने की बजाय वो गेम्स में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड था. तो एक बार उसके जो टीचर होते हैं वो उससे बोलते हैं कि तुम अपना जो है होमवर्क करो और तुम थोड़ी पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दो, वरना तुम बाकी लोगों के बजाय एक इग्नोरेंट पर्सन बन के रह जाओगे. इग्नोरमेंस यहाँ पे तुम लोगों के न्यू वर्ड है. इग्नोरमेंस विच इज़ न्यू वर्ड फॉर यू. It's clearly explained here. We can see in pink box ignorance, an ignorant person who lacks education. अब कभी कभी पैट्रिक को भी ये बात लगती थी कि हाँ, मुझे काफ़ी चीज़ों के बारे में नॉलेज नहीं है, बट he didn't like to do his homework. वो पर होमवर्क करना ही नहीं चाहता था. Now, then one day he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll. It wasn't a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. He had a little wool shirt on his old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat much like a witch's. He yelled, Save me! Don't give me back to the cat. I'll grant you a wish. I promise you that. Once, Patrick found a dog. Patrick found a doll by his cat. He grabbed it. He grabbed it to the cat, and what he saw that it wasn't a cat. It wasn't a doll. It was a tiniest sized man. एक बार जो पैट्रिक होता है वो ध्यान देता है कि उसकी जो कैट होती है वो एक डॉल के साथ में खेल रही होती है, तो वो उसे जो है ले लेता है. अब लेने के बाद में वो वहाँ पे क्या देखता है कि ये डॉल नहीं है, ये तो एक बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा छोटा एक मैन है ना. नाउ हियर ही डिस्क्राइब द अपीयरेंस ऑफ द डॉल or this tiniest man, which is looking like a doll. He had a wool shirt and old-fashioned breeches and a high, tall hat also. अब देखो उसने वूल का शर्ट पहन रखा है, ओल्ड फैशन ब्रिचेस पहन रखे हैं और उसके सर पर उसने एक लंबी सी कैप लगा रखी है जो कि विचेस की जैसी है. He yelled. He cried there, save me, don't give me back to the cat. अब जो tiniest man है वो चिल्लाता है कि save me, मुझे वापस कैट को मत दो, मैं क्या करूँगा इसके बदले तुम्हारी कोई भी एक विश पूरी करूँगा और मैं ये प्रॉमिस करता हूँ. Patrick couldn't believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer of all his problems. So he said, Only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester. That's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I could even get AS. Now, this situation is the answer of Patrick's all problems. How? Because he wanted to complete his homework, but he hated homework also. So here he had a wish. So he thought to asked the tiniest man to complete his homework. अब देखो पैट्रिक के पास में जो कन्फ्यूजन थी कि मेरा होमवर्क कैसे कंप्लीट होगा, क्योंकि उसे जो होमवर्क करना बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं था, तो उन सारी प्रॉब्लम का जो है सोल्यूशन उसके पास में आ गया था। और वो सोल्यूशन क्या था? उस टाइनीस्ट मैन की वो एक विश जो कि उसने दी थी पैट्रिक को कि तुम मुझे इससे बचा लो, मैं तुम्हारी कोई भी एक विश पूरी करूँगा। तब वो उसके सामने टर्म रखता है, ही पुट अ टर्म इन फ्रंट ऑफ द टाइनीस्ट मैन दैट कंप्लीट माई होमवर्क विद इन 35 days. Okay, so here he put his wish in front of the tiniest man. वो टाइनीस्ट मैन के सामने अपनी जो विश है वो रख देता है कि तुम 35 days के अंदर अंदर तक मेरा जो होमवर्क है वो तुम कंप्लीट कर दो, है ना। और अगर तुम एक अच्छी जॉब करोगे, यहाँ पे अच्छे से तुम काम करोगे, तो हो सकता है कि मुझे एएस भी मिल जाए, इट्स अ ग्रेड। ओके, सो हो सकता है कि मुझे ए ग्रेड भी मिल जाए। नाउ द लिटिल मैन्स face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his leg and doubled his feast and grimaced and swore and purses his lips. Oh, I am cursed, but I'll do it. Now here what we will see that the tiniest man have to do Patrick's homework, although he didn't interested to do, but still he had to complete his homework. अब यहाँ पे जो टाइनीस्ट मैन है वो ऐसा एक्सप्रेशन देता है जैसे लगता है कि वो नहीं करना चाहता, पर उसे यहाँ करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि वो फंस चुका है ना। क्योंकि उसने उसे एक जो है विश ग्रांट कर दी और अब उसे वो फुलफिल करनी पड़ेगी। तो यहाँ पे उसे उसका होमवर्क करना पड़ेगा, हालांकि वो नहीं करना चाहता, है ना। तो वो वहाँ पे अपने चेहरे में थोड़े रिंकल लाता है ना। तो वो किसकी तरह लगता है? वो एक ऐसा लगता है जैसे कि कोई एक क्लोथ है जो कि धोने के लिए रखा हुआ है बाकी चीज़ों के साथ में, है ना। तो वो करना नहीं चाहता वहाँ पे, पर फिर भी उसे करना पड़ेगा। तो वो बहुत बैड एक्सप्रेशन के साथ में बोलता है, ओ आई एम कर्स्ड, कि मुझे करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, बट आई विल डू इट, पर मैं कर लूँगा। नाउ एंड ट्रू टू हिज वर्ड द लिटिल एल्फ began to do Patrick's homework, except there was one glitch. The elf didn't know what to do. He needed help. Help me, help me, he would say, and Patrick would have to help in whatever way. I don't know this word, the elf squeezed with reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No. What's even better, look up the word and sound it out by each letter. Here, the little elf started to doing Patrick's homework. But there was also a problem, and the problem is he didn't know much about his homework. So here he took help of Patrick. Like in English, he asked Patrick to speak loudly all the new words. अब जो लिटिल एल्फ है, टाइनीस्ट मैन, वो पैट्रिक का होमवर्क करना शुरू कर देता है। बट यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या थी कि जो एल्फ है वो तो पढ़ नहीं रहा था, बल्कि ये पढ़ाई पैट्रिक की थी। तो उसे उसकी पढ़ाई के बारे में, उसकी स्टडी के बारे में, उसके होमवर्क के बारे में कुछ ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं थी, उसके लिए सब चीज़ें नहीं थी। तो वो पैट्रिक से हेल्प मांगता है कि तुम्हें मेरी हेल्प करनी पड़ेगी, तुम मुझे डिक्शनरी ला दो। फिर वो कहता है कि अच्छा तुम एक काम करो, तुम मुझे जो जो वर्ड मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ वो मुझे डिक्शनरी में ढूंढ के तुम जो उसको है स्पेल करो, उसे तुम लेटर बाय लेटर उसे बोलो, उसे सर्च करो वर्ड को और फिर उसे बोलो। When it come to maths, Patrick was out of luck. What are timetables? The elf shrieked. We elves never need that. and addition and separation, and division and fractions. Here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So the little elf, already a shouter, just go louder. Go to the library. I need books, more and more books, and you can help me read them too. The problem was not only with English. The problem was with every subject, and in maths, the problem is more difficult. How? Because maths is totally a new subject for elf. He didn't know what are addition, separation, division, and fractions. He asked Patrick to sit beside him and help him. He ordered Patrick to help him in history also because history is mystery for him. So he asked him to to bring some books from library and read them with him. अब प्रॉब्लम जो थी सिर्फ ये नहीं थी कि उसे इंग्लिश में कुछ नहीं आता था। मैथ्स जो सब्जेक्ट था वो भी उसके लिए टोटली एक नया सब्जेक्ट था। उसे एडिशन नहीं पता क्या होते हैं, टाइम टेबल्स नहीं पता क्या होते हैं, फ्रैक्शंस नहीं पता, डिविजन्स नहीं पता, सेपरेशंस नहीं पता, उसे कुछ नहीं पता होता मैथ्स के बारे में। तो वो पैट्रिक को बोलता है तुम मेरे पास बैठो और मुझे गाइड करो, है ना, तो मुझे बताओ, मैं वो कर दूंगा। अब प्रॉब्लम थी वो हिस्ट्री में भी थी, क्योंकि हिस्ट्री थी वो एक मिस्ट्री थी एल्फ के लिए। तो वो उसे कहता है कि तुम लाइब्रेरी जाओ, वहाँ से बुक्स लेके आओ और उन बुक्स को मेरे पास में बैठो और उन्हें पढ़ो और मेरी हेल्प करो, है ना, उसके आंसर्स फाइंड आउट करने के लिए, होमवर्क कंप्लीट करने के लिए। हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम बैक इन आदर्श ऑनलाइन क्लासेस। दिस वीडियो इज सेकेंड पार्ट ऑफ आवर फर्स्ट चैप्टर, who did Patrick's homework. So here I am with you with second part of our chapter. Without wasting time, let's go towards our chapter. We are in 7th point. As a matter of fact, okay, before going on, let me tell you what we have read in a previous part of the chapter. Before going on, I advise you to watch my previous video of the chapter. So, in our previous part, we saw Patrick didn't want to complete his homework, but his teacher warned him to complete his homework, and then he found a little elf. The little elf provided him a wish, and he put his wish to complete his homework. So the little elf had to complete his homework, but the problem is he didn't know much about his studies, so he always took help of Patrick in completing Patrick's homework. In English, maths, history, in every subject he took help of पैट्रिक। पिछले पार्ट में हम लोगों ने पढ़ा कि पैट्रिक जो है वो होमवर्क नहीं करना चाहता था, उसका होमवर्क पेंडिंग था और उसके टीचर ने एक बार उसे वार्न किया कि तुम्हें होमवर्क करना पड़ेगा वरना तुम इग्नोरेंट बन के रह जाओगे। तो पैट्रिक चाहता है अपना होमवर्क करना, लेकिन उसके होमवर्क करने का मन नहीं करता कभी भी। अब एक दिन उसे एक छोटा मैन मिलता है, टाइनिएस्ट मैन, जो उसका कैट जो है पैट्रिक का, वो उस एल्फ के साथ खेल रही होती है, तो वो उसे छीन लेता है। तो जो एल्फ है वो उसे बोलता है कि तुम मुझे इससे बचा लो, मैं तुम्हारी एक विश पूरी करूँगा। तो पैट्रिक को यहाँ पे एक आइडिया आता है कि ये मेरी एक विश पूरी करेगा तो क्यों ना मैं अपना होमवर्क इससे कंप्लीट करवा लूँ। तो पैट्रिक उसे अपना होमवर्क कंप्लीट करने के लिए बोलता है। अब जो एल्फ है वो होमवर्क नहीं कंप्लीट करना चाहता, पर उसे करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि वो बोल चुका उसे कि मैं तुम्हारी एक विश पूरी करूँगा। तो लिटिल एल्फ को यहाँ न चाहते हुए भी उसका होमवर्क जो है करना पड़ता है। पर प्रॉब्लम यहाँ भी है, और प्रॉब्लम है कि वो उसकी पढ़ाई के बारे में ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं जानता, उसके होमवर्क के बारे में। तो वो हमेशा पैट्रिक को अपने पास बैठा के रखता है कि मुझे तुम इसमें कुछ बताओ, मैथ्स में एडिशन सेपरेशंस बताओ, फ्रैक्शंस बताओ, टेबल्स बताओ, इंग्लिश के अंदर मुझे न्यू वर्ड्स बताओ, क्योंकि सारे वर्ड्स उसके लिए न्यू थे। हिस्ट्री जो थी वो टोटली उसके लिए मिस्ट्री थी, तो वो हमेशा उसकी हेल्प लेता था। सो नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट द चैप्टर, start the another part of the chapter here with the second point, seventh point. As a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? He was staying up nights, had never felt so wearily, was going to school with his eyes puffed and barely. Now look here, Patrick was helping every day elf in completing Patrick's homework. अब यहाँ पे पैट्रिक को जो है हर बार उसकी हेल्प करनी पड़ती है, उसके होमवर्क करते हुए भी, नहीं चाहते हुए भी। अब ये एक्चुअल में पैट्रिक के लिए प्रॉब्लम बन गई है। हर वक्त जो हेल्प है वो उसे बुलाता है कि इधर आओ, मुझे ये इसमें हेल्प करो, इधर आओ, मुझे ये बताओ, मुझे ये बताओ। अब पैट्रिक जो है वो उसे नहीं चाहते हुए भी जो उसकी हेल्प है करनी पड़ती है, उसकी सारी बातों को मानना पड़ता है। अब धीरे धीरे क्या होता है कि उसे भी इंटरेस्ट आने लग जाता है, उसे ये जो है अनइंटरेस्टिंग नहीं लगता। वो खुद उसकी हेल्प करता है, वो उसके पास में बैठा रहता है, होमवर्क चेक करता है, डिक्शनरी में से उसे वर्ड्स ढूंढ के देता है, मैथ्स में उसे टेबल्स बताता है, हिस्ट्री में वो बुक्स पढ़ता है, लाइब्रेरी से नई नई बुक्स लेके आता है। तो देखो वो वहाँ पे क्या करता है, बहुत बार रातों को भी जागता है ये करने के लिए। अब वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा थक जाता है ना, और परेशान भी हो जाता है। वो स्कूल जाता है वैसे थके हुए, और इतनी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम उसे फेस करनी पड़ती है, उसे खुद को भी उससे रिलेटेड। और was going to school with his eyes puffed and burly. अब वो आँखों में जो है उसके आंसू आ जाते हैं, है ना, इतना ज़्यादा वर्क करने के बाद में। Now finally the last day of the school arrived and the elf was free to go. As for the homework, there was no more. So he quietly and slyly slipped out of the back door. Now finally it was the day when it was the day of last semester. अभी लास्ट सेमेस्टर का जो है लास्ट डे आ जाता है, जब पैट्रिक को अपना होमवर्क सबमिट करवाना था, और यहाँ पे जो उसका होमवर्क कंप्लीट भी हो जाता है। सो हियर द लिटिल एल्फ वाज फ्री, सो ही स्लेप्ट अवे because it was also a problem for him doing his work. So he just slipped away silently so that nobody could caught him. अब देखो यहाँ क्या होता है, फाइनली लास्ट डे होता है। जो एल्फ थे उसने अपनी ड्यूटी कंप्लीट कर दी, उसकी ड्यूटी बस इतनी थी कि उसका होमवर्क कंप्लीट करना। इतना होते ही वो धीरे से चुपके से जो है वहाँ से निकल जाता है, सीक्रेटली वो जो है वहाँ से भाग जाता है ताकि कोई उसे देख नहीं ले। पीछे वाले दरवाजे से वो वहाँ से निकल जाता है। पैट्रिक गॉट हिज AS, his classmates were amazed, his teachers smiled and were full of praise, and his parents, they wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now a model kid, cleaned his room, did his chores, was cheerful, never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. Now here, after completing his homework, finally he got A grade in his work. His teachers, classmates, students, everyone were amazed. You know, they never expected from the Patrick that one day he will complete his homework and got A grade. But here, he completed his homework and also got A grade. So they all are shocked. They all were shocked. And his parents were too happy because now he developed a whole new attitude of a disciplined and a good boy. अब देखो यहाँ पे जो पैट्रिक है उसे A ग्रेड मिल जाती है, उसके क्लासमेट्स, टीचर सारे खुश रहते हैं। क्लासमेट जो वो शॉक्ड हो जाते हैं कि इसने कैसे कंप्लीट कर लिया। उसके पेरेंट्स काफ़ी ज़्यादा खुश होते हैं, टीचर भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा खुश होते हैं और उसकी काफ़ी तारीफ़ भी करते हैं। उसके पेरेंट्स जो होते हैं वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा शॉक्ड होते हैं कि भाई इसने कैसे इतना कंप्लीट कर लिया, और ये इसने अपना एक वर्क कंप्लीट करने के साथ साथ में इसने अपने जो एटीट्यूड है उसको भी अपडेट किया है। अब ये एक फुल्ली डिसिप्लिन्ड, वेल डिसिप्लिन्ड बॉय में कन्वर्ट हो चुका है। कैसे वो एक मॉडल किड बन चुका है, वो अपने रूम को क्लीन रखता है, अपने सारे वर्क कंप्लीट करता है, कभी रूड बिहेव नहीं करता, चेयरफुल रहता है। तो एक नया एटीट्यूड है वो पैट्रिक में यहाँ देखने को मिल रहा है। यू सी इन द एंड पैट्रिक स्टिल थॉट would make the tiny man to do his homework. But I'll share a secret just between you and me. It wasn't the elf, the Patrick had done it himself. Now, in the end, the writer shared a secret with us that homework was completed by the Patrick, not by the elf. अब देखो लास्ट में राइटर क्या बताता है कि एक्चुअल में तो जो होमवर्क है वो पैट्रिक ने कंप्लीट किया था, ना कि एल्फ ने। पैट्रिक लाइब्रेरी से बुक लाता, उसे बोलता, उसकी हेल्प करता, मैथ्स में सॉल्यूशंस बताता, इंग्लिश में स्पेलिंग्स बताता, हिस्ट्री में बुक्स पढ़ता। ऐसे कर करके पैट्रिक ने खुद ने होमवर्क कंप्लीट किया, ना कि उस टाइनिएस्ट मैन ने। और ये एक सीक्रेट है जो तुम्हारे और हम सिर्फ हम दो के बीच में है। नाउ हियर वी कंप्लीटेड आवर स्टोरी and our first chapter. So if you have any question regarding the chapter, you can ask me in comment box. Now let's go towards our poem, A House and a Home.